This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Good morning, everybody. We got a full panel with our own Dr. Cohen joining us this morning. Very good to see you.
Oh, she has an accent today.
I have to be highbrow. Okay, we're starting today with Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson, right? On her show yesterday, she came clean about how she lost all of her weight. So previously, if you didn't know, listen to this. She said she did it with a healthy diet and walking more. But while talking with Whoopi Goldberg, she admitted to taking a weight loss drug. Let's take a look.
First of all, it's all the weight I've lost because I've lost almost 2 people.
I have lost a lot as well.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm doing that wonderful shot that
Yeah.
works for folks who need some help, and it's been really good for me.
No, mine is a different one than people assume, but I ended up having to do that too because my blood work got so bad.
And it's great for people like us who have, issues.
My doctor chased me for like 2 years, and I was like, no, I'm afraid of it. I already have thyroid problems. I was afraid, and everybody thinks it's Ozempic. It's not. It's something else. But it's something that aids in helping break down the sugar. Obviously, my body doesn't do it right.
Okay, so some fans reacted by calling her a liar. Others said they were disappointed, but not surprised. Dr. Coley, I'm curious why you think, just professionally, have you seen this, why you felt like she had to lie?
Every patient of mine that I bring this up with has that same struggle. And I'm surprised to hear that it took 2 years because I knock on that door every single day, but it is really hard. We have this culture about obesity that makes people embarrassed, that gives them the stigma that equates obesity to laziness. And so people feel like taking a medication is a shortcut. It's a judgment. People are going to judge them for it. And so when I try to bring it up, I say, no, this is a biological problem. We need a biological solution, which is a medication. But I'm not surprised to hear her say this because I have to struggle with my patients almost every single day.
It's a lot of shame.
It is shame. So why do you guys think? I mean, have you seen this as well?
There's so little discernment, I feel. Like I've been very open to say that if I were able to take a drug like this right now, I wouldn't, simply because what my goal weight would have to be something that I would have to get there by diet and exercise. I'm also not an obese person. So those are 2 different things. Now, I have told my husband that if I were to become pregnant, this is our weight, and we are going to lose this by investing in something that is going to get this weight off of me because this weight belongs to us.
I've never thought about it that way.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. So I think that when you're having these conversations, no one's really exercising discernment, and also the idea, I believed Kelly health. I'm going to believe it.
But she told us that she was just out there walking.
Yeah.
Right. That sucks. I'm sorry. Like, for all the people out there that are trying so hard to lose weight, and you see someone like Kelly Clarkson, who for years you identified with, because they too said it is so difficult for me to lose weight. And then all of a sudden she drops the weight, and you're hoping to hear what that secret is. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I was walking. Like, she doesn't owe it to them, but at the same time, if you have that platform, I think another way to destigmatize the shame is to be open and honest, in my opinion.
And not to feed the narrative that just walking and changing your diet is going to shed weight like this.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear you guys, if your doctor said to you, you need to take a medication to lose weight because you're overweight and have health-related conditions because of your weight, well, how would you react?
I'd be at the pharmacy in 2 seconds. I have no problem. Science changed my mother's life. She started walking. I highly believe in science. I fully believe that if a doctor had that in mind, they are seeing a holistic look at me. My heart, my head, my blood, my everything, cholesterol. And I'm just like, that's what I believe in, science. Science.
Same. I mean, I just want to be healthy for my kids. So if my doctor
I'm so glad
said
that she and Oprah have now admitted, because I think this has changed. This is setting the example for people everywhere to embrace these weight loss drugs as a way to change their health and change their life.
I think. Oh no. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think that Oprah gave her license to say it because Kelly is the new version of the everyday woman that Oprah once represented on our daily daytime television. So I think that Oprah kind of gave her permission to be a little bit more honest, which, I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. But speaking of weight loss drugs, we're finally getting the results of the longest clinical trial for Wegovy. Now, in the interest of disclosure, you're actually a paid consultant for Novo Nordisk, which is the maker of this drug. What did this trial reveal about those health benefits?
You know, when this trial was revealed in fall of last year, there was standing room only. Every cardiologist was literally—
You guys were geeking out.
on the edge of our seats, because this was, you know, developed as a diabetes drug. Then we realized it's getting the weight off. Now we're realizing that it's preventing heart attacks and strokes.
Wow.
And even in people who didn't lose weight, it prevented heart attacks and strokes. So you might be asking me, well, why is that? Inflammation is the common thread here. So being obese creates inflammation, and having heart disease creates inflammation. So now we've realized as cardiologists that we need to use this drug to prevent heart attacks and strokes in patients with heart disease and obesity. The next question we're asking is, should we even apply it to patients without obesity?
Right, like fibromyalgia is to do with a lot of inflammation and other things.
Would it help with that?
We don't know yet. The studies hasn't been done, but what was interesting is that they actually started having fewer heart attacks and strokes before they even lost the weight. Wow. So we think it's even potentially independent of the weight, and that's what's really fascinating about this.
Wow. What did the trial reveal? Did you just answer that?
Well, it's so for heart disease prevention, but what was also interesting is that people lost about 10% of their body weight and kept it off for 4 years. So you know how we're always talking about, hey, does the weight come back on? Or people have to stay on it? So if they stayed on the drug, they actually kept the weight off for 4 years. So that was also really reassuring that you can maintain long-term weight loss with this. And so I really want us to start thinking about our entire health, not just about our heart, not just about our weight, but about everything. And I want us to stop thinking of this as a vanity medication.
Yes.
I want us to think about this as a heart disease medication, because we've talked about heart attacks and strokes, but we're also seeing signals for heart failure. We're also seeing signals for kidney protection, and we're also seeing signals for potentially dementia and other things. So I really want us to start thinking about this as a total body medication.
I wish my mom had gotten on this. I do.
Corey,
I think it would.
you think it would have helped?
Strokes and stuff.
Yeah.
I just wonder what it's like. I'm so glad we're advancing that way. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Coley. DBL Nation, follow Dr. Coley on social media at Pio Coley MD. Also be sure to subscribe to her YouTube page. Plus check out her podcast, Heart of Medicine, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Coming up on DBL, Michael Cohen faces a tough cross-examination in Donald Trump's hush money trial. We're going to break down what happened in the courtroom. And Anthony Scaramucci is weighing in on Trump's fate. Plus, he's telling us all about his new book that recounts his path from Wall Street to the White House. Welcome back to DBL. So the showdown continues today in a New York courtroom for former President Trump's criminal trial. Trump and what he's called the former fixer, Michael Cohen, are facing off. Michael Cohen testified yesterday that Trump approved the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. He also testified today that Trump knew and agreed to the plan to reimburse him for those payments, which is really the key to the prosecutor's case. Cohen is likely to face cross-examination by Trump's defense later today, and he is expected to be grilled about his credibility and prior conviction for perjury, and, of course, other crimes. After court yesterday, here's what Donald Trump himself had to say.
Got no evidence, and I'm innocent. This is a political witch hunt, and nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Wow. Okay, so what do we think about Cohen's testimony? Could he send his former boss to prison? I guess my first question, too, is like, do you trust Michael Cohen, right? So Michael Cohen has already been to jail for some of this problems and other things. Is he a credible witness? What do you think, Jeff?
That's a great point, because is he?
Right.
He's already been perjured on the stand, or purged on the stand. So it's like, I get that, you know, everyone's hanging their hat on his testimony, but what's to say that he's not lying to get revenge at Trump?
Right.
That's the only other counterpoint I could see at this point.
Right. And then some people say, well, he served his time. What does he have to lose at some point?
I guess my confusion, I feel like a lot of other people are confused by this idea. So Michael Cohen went to jail based on the evidence that was presented in his trial. Now, that's already, I don't know if codified would be the right word, but clearly that states evidence, right? So if they're utilizing those same facts, then how does it change just because, I mean, wouldn't the chicken have to make the egg?
Right. The transitive property.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's A plus B equals C, then B and A and C squared.
Well, he is a serial liar, in my opinion.
Please.
I don't trust him, but he does have receipts. And if you do have proof, I think it's important for us to know that, because it is difficult to trust this man. So, number one, he did testify that Trump agreed to a plan to reimburse him for hush money paid to silence Daniels. And then he has these bogus emails that he sent to Trump's business as part of the scheme. Okay, so he has this paper trail, so to speak. He also said that Trump made it clear he wanted to pay off Stormy Daniels, something we found out yesterday. He credited Melania with the strategy of referring to the leaked Access Hollywood tape as just locker room talk. That was all Melania's idea, according to Cohen. That's interesting to me.
That's how she sleeps at night.
Okay.
Isn't there like some sort of checks and balances? Like if Stormy Daniels got paid with a check, right, it would be in her bank account. You could see where that check came from. If she got paid cash, wouldn't there be a debit from the campaign funds? Like, wouldn't you be able to find receipts literally to where that money came from in order to prove that he did that?
That's what the prosecution is trying to do. Now, the defense is saying, look, literally in the prosecution is saying there was a cover-up. So there were fake names used. There was ways to hide this, fake emails. So they tried to cover it up so that it wouldn't be so obvious. Unfortunately, things were uncovered, and they didn't do a very great job at it, to be honest with you. So the cover-up is really what's stinking so much, and the cover-up is knowingly using campaign funds. That's the problem people don't remember. And the cover-up didn't fully cover that up, according to the prosecution.
That's my hope. How do they prove that?
We'll
unless
see
they
if
know.
They do accurately. We'll see.
We'll see if the jury believes that, and if it does, I mean, that's the whole case. Really. He is the whole case. He is the linchpin of this whole case.
What do you think about the Nuggets game? We'll see. Play tonight.
It could go up. It could go down. Huh? Okay, that's how scores work. Coming up on CBL, Anthony Scaramucci. Well, he's telling us what he thinks about Trump's trial, plus his prediction for the election. He told us straight up what he thinks. And you'll want to stick around for today's Deal Blast so you can get great deals and everything from an air fryer to some gorgeous jewelry. You guys won't believe the price on this one. And you can layer it, Sam and Erica. Layer.
I do like a layer.
See? I knew it. I knew y'all liked it. Welcome back to DBL. You might remember our next guest from his 11 days of working at the White House as the communications director for former President Trump. Well, earlier we talked with Anthony Scaramucci as Michael Cohen was taking the stand yesterday. Take a look.
Please welcome to DBL, Anthony Scaramucci.
Thank you guys. Great to be on. Fun show.
Thank you. We're glad to have you. All right, we have so much to talk about, but first, I want to get to what's happening currently in Trump's trial. Michael Cohen, the fixer, as you know, is testifying, and he says he bullied people and lied for Trump. Are you, A, following this trial, and B, what do you think about what Cohen is saying?
Well, yes, I'm following the trial. Obviously, I have a relationship with Michael. I actually visited Michael twice when he was in prison. And if you guys recall, he went to jail for perjury and among other things, but that was the main reason he went to jail. And it was all the same facts related to this case. And so what's interesting about this case is that the federal government decided not to try the case when Mr. Trump was president, but the city of New York has decided to try the case on the same facts. But you have one person already went to jail on these facts, so I think it's a tough case for President Trump to defend himself on. But you know, we'll see what happens.
I agree.
All right, Mr. Scaramucci, here's the question. With the election coming up, you have to tell us, who do you think is going to be our next president and why?
Well, you know, the polls, if the election were held today, I think the polls are showing that President Trump is ahead in the swing states, but the election is not held today, and I think that this stuff comes together in October, early November, and I think Joe Biden will win this election quite handily. And just give you three quick reasons. Number one, he has way more money than former President Trump, and he'll have more field offices in those swing states. And this will be a get out to vote election more than anything else. Number two, just quickly, if you look at the polling and say likely voters, Joe Biden is ahead. The most recent ABC poll had him 49 versus 45. And then the third piece of this story, unfortunately, there are too many sordid things that are cropping up for Mr. Trump, including the insurrection and the documents case. They're trying to delay those, but likely one of those will be on trial at the back end of this campaign. And I think that's a bad look. And listen, you know, the IVF abortion issue for the Republicans, it hurt them in 2022. And I think it hurts them again here in 2024.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about your time in the White House. On your very first day of work, you met with President Trump. What job advice did he give you?
Well, I mean, you know, I actually met with him the day before to take that job. And the weird part about that job is I was sitting with him. He said he wanted to get rid of Bannon and Priebus. I said, okay. And then he called White House operations. He said, well, what office is available in the West Wing? And they said, well, you know, the communications office is available. And then he looked at me and said, okay, you're going to be the communications director. I said, well, I'm not really qualified to be the communications director, but well, you know, you guys are laughing, but that's exactly how, and you know why you're laughing, because you know it's a true story. That's exactly how he operates. So I ended up taking a job I wasn't qualified for. I do write about this story in the book, and I write about taking a job that you're not experienced for due to your ego. And this is really not a good reflection on me, but I write about it honestly. I had my pride and ego in taking that job. You know, the idea of working in the White House after building a few successful businesses was too enticing.
Your book emphasizes bouncing back from setbacks. Do you consider your firing from the White House to be the biggest setback or failure that you faced professionally?
My first firing, I got fired from Goldman about 18 months after I got into Goldman. So I just want you to imagine this. I was at Harvard Law School. I had a number of different job offers, and 18 months after I joined Goldman, I got fired. Now, the weird thing about that story is I ended up getting rehired into Goldman, and I think you guys would appreciate this. They tried to get my severance check back, and I wouldn't give it to them. That probably hurt me politically there, but I left to start my own business shortly thereafter.
Anthony, thank you so much for your insights.
Hey,
DBL Nation, you can find Anthony's book at stores everywhere on May 21st. Thank you again. We'll be right back. Appreciate it.
We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hey Tori, hey DBL Nation. We are super excited to show you the deals we have today. As ever, they are wonderful. So check this out. We've got the caloric 22-quart analog air fryer toaster oven.
Ooh.
With this appliance, you can replace your toaster, frying pan, and more. It uses up to 75% less oil than traditional cooking methods, which means it's going to be a lot healthier for you. Normally this is $150 because, I mean, look how much it does.
Right.
However, we have it for just $59.99. That's saving 60%. And look how much space is in here, so you can really make the most of this and cook multiple things at once.
Oh, I love that price.
Fantastic. Up next, we've got the Liberex Sonic Rechargeable Electric Toothbrush. You can customize your toothbrush with 3 different modes. Normally, this is $60. We have got it for $19.99, which is saving 67%. This is so small and compact.
And it goes with that travel case?
You can pop it in your handbag or in your luggage so easily.
Perfect. Love that.
Tori, we have got the Kenzie IPL hair removal handset.
What?
This is a handheld laser which removes your hair, targets unwanted hairs at the root, and it zaps them without burning or damaging your skin. Normally, this is $105.
Okay.
However, we've got it for $49.99. That's saving 52%. And our last product today, we've got the Nessa Nye Float 18-carat TW white gold plated diamond heart necklace.
These are darling.
We've got these available in rose gold plated and sterling silver. Normally, these are $149.
Ooh, that's kind
It's
of
expensive.
Yeah.
However, we have got this for $24.99. That's saving 80%.
This is like a classic piece for a great price.
Exactly, Tori.
Good stuff, guys. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or just scan that QR code on screen. It will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Couldn't be easier. Thank you so much, Steph. We love sharing your comments. This is about Kelly Clarkson's weight loss. Sherry says, I don't think Kelly owes us anything. She never lied about it. She kind of did.
She totally did.
She said I walked and I had a better diet. That's a lying by omission, at least.
I would say, yeah, by omission.
Thank you. Thank you.
But
Okay.
if she want to say she walked.
She walked the line.
Let that
I
girl
had to say
walk.
something.
I know.
You said so little.
That's your fault for not jumping in.
Or I just get the day off tomorrow. Either way.
No, we would love that. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.